For this latest What Happens Next puzzle, I'm looking at an endgame. The game we have is from the Women's World Rapid Play Championship between Janjgava and Arabidze. Now looking at the position, we can see that white is the exchange down, but she does have a pawn for it. So it's knight and 5 against rook and 4, and as all the pawns are on the same side, objectively this position I think should be a draw. But black now plays an extraordinary move actually. e5. I think this is an attempt to trap the knight on h5. I'm sure both players are probably very short of time here, so that's a reasonable excuse for some of these moves. I've played far worse, not just in rapid play chess, but in games with the proper time limits as well. So I'm not going to criticise the players, I'm just going to demonstrate what happened. So e5, attempting to trap the knight, and white took, and now black could rescue the situation with rook c5, and then obviously there's a pin here, and then recapture the pawn with the rook on e5, and in that way keep a sensible pawn structure, a healthy pawn structure. Position I think would still be a draw, but black recaptured with the pawn, so persisting with this idea of trying to trap the knight on h5, but presumably forgetting that simply g4 was possible and the knight can return to g3. And black's problem now is that these pawns are potentially vulnerable, and if anyone stands better here, it could be white. Let's see what happened. So the king marched up the board, that protects the h-pawn, so now the knight can return to g3, hitting e4. Black has to defend, but of course the rook is rather passively placed here. Now g5 makes room for the king to come up the board. Now there's really only one sensible way for white to make progress here, and that's to play h5, creating a passed pawn. So now black has to be careful of the g-pawn and the pawn on e4. So the knight checked the king goes back, and the king is advancing, so black is just waiting here. And now we reach the position that I'd like you to study, and I'm going to give you two alternatives here. So what should white play? Should white play knight d5? It's one alternative. Or should white play king h7? Those are your two alternatives. After I finish speaking, on the screen you'll see two buttons will appear. You can click through on the move that you would like to play, and that'll take you through to the next clip where I'll analyse the moves. The best of luck.